Hello everyone, this is Sean Kelly. This is my video project for Math 132, Chapter 2.5. So the first part of my question is find the equation for the tangent line of f of x is equal to tangent squared of 3x at x equals pi over 12. Okay, so what we want to do is find the derivative of this first. And all we're going to use is the chain rule and the derivatives of trig functions. So let me just rewrite this. So this is the same thing as that, having the power of the 2 out here. So it's very easy now to see how to use the chain rule and power rules and stuff like that. So what we're going to start off by doing is f prime of x is equal to, well, we're going to pull that 2 out. So then we pull the 2 out, and then we want to leave this whole inside alone. So then it's going to be tangent of 3x. Well, now we want to find the derivative of tangent of 3x, which is secant squared of 3x. So we left the 3x alone in both of these, but now what we want to do is find the derivative of 3x, which is just 3. So if we simplify, we are left with f prime of x is equal to, well, we got 6. I'm going to have this secant squared of 3x out here times tangent of 3x. So that's the derivative of the original function. So now what we want to do is find the equation of the tangent line. So what we're going to do is use the equation y minus y1 is equal to m. All of that is multiplied by x minus x1. Okay, so we have most of our stuff here. So m is going to be equal to the derivative of the function, and we are given x1, which is pi over 12. So what we want to do is solve for that y1. So how we're going to solve for that is we're going to find so we're going to want to find tangent of everywhere we find an x, plug in that pi over 12. So let's rewrite that. But I'm going to simplify right here. So that is pi over 4, right? Because 12 divided by 3 will give you 4. So that's just pi over 4. And this whole thing is still squared. So we know that tangent is equal to sine over cosine. And at pi over 4, we know that sine is equal to the square root of 2 over 2. And it's over cosine. Well, the cosine of pi over 4 is also equal to the square root of 2 over 2. So now, if we multiply by the reciprocal of this, these 2's will cancel, and the square root of 2's will cancel. So then we're left with tangent squared of pi over 4 is equal to 1. And then if we square that, it's still going to be equal to 1. Okay, so now we're going to want to plug everything in to the equation, and we have all the variables we need. So y minus, well, y1 is 1. It's equal to, m is going to be equal to the derivative of the function. So 6 secant squared 3x tangent 3x. And then we're going to multiply all of that, x minus, and we have x1, which is pi over 12. Okay, so Now, what we're gonna do is multiply this into here, and we're gonna eventually move this one over. So let's do it one step at a time. So 6x secant squared of 3x of tan 3x, and then by that next term, so negative, I'm just gonna simplify this 6 times pi over 12, so that's just gonna be pi over 2 of secant squared 3x tan 3x. Okay, and then now we're just gonna move that 1 over. Unfortunately, this is a very ugly equation. So that is what we are left with, is the equation for the tangent line of the original function of tangent squared 3x at x equals pi over 12. Well, that is equal to y is equal to 6x secant squared of 3x tangent of 3x minus pi over 2 secant squared of 3x tan of 3x plus 1. All right, welcome back to the second part of the video. So part 2 of my question asks, true or false, if y is equal to the square root of 1 minus x, then y prime is equal to 1 over 2 times the square root of 1 minus x. So what we're going to do is rewrite this as a power. So y is equal to 1 minus x to the 1/2 power. Okay, so now we see to use the power rule, or sorry, the chain rule. And what we're going to do now is do y prime is equal to, so we're going to take that 1/2 out. And then we're going to leave this alone. And take this down by 1. So that's just going to be negative 1/2. And then now what we want to do is find the derivative of the inside of the function, because we're using the chain rule here. So 1 is going to be 0 and negative x is going to be negative 1. So let's just simplify it and make it look pretty. Okay, so all I did was do 1 over 2, and then I brought this down as a square root because it's the negative 1/2 power. So I got 1 over 2 times the square root of 1 minus x, but because we had that negative 1 from taking the derivative of the inside of that, I pulled out a negative there. So now we are left with y prime is equal to negative 1 over 2 times the square root of 1 minus x. And now let's take a look at our original question. And it says true or false. Well, if y is equal to the square root of 1 minus x, then y prime equals 1 over 2 times the square root of 1 minus x. And we see that that is not what we solved for by using the chain rule. So this is false. I hope you guys learned something from these videos, and good luck on the exam.